Munchkins are small, thought the barista. Much too small to serve the customers. For legal purposes, I suppose we should call them donut hole balls. They simply came out too small this morning and no one knew exactly what they were going to do. I mean, you can't just sell one when they're this small. Zach, with a K, knew what to do. But let's call them K for now, since that's the last letter in their name, and well, it's actually what they go by, anyway. Would you ever do that? Go with the last letter in your name? I wouldn't. And I've gone by many names. But anyway, I regress. I mean, oh God, constantly. But what I mean is I digress. Let's go back to Zach with a K, aka K. You know, Zach. Okay, so I guess it was kind of a test. If you're still here, you can continue listening. Yeah, you can proceed. Which ways do you even have now? There's no turning back. I know you've got to know what's going on with Zach. I mean, Kay. Kay knew exactly what to do. Guys, let's sell them for two for $1 today. It's a special. Kay felt proud. They just spoke up in front of everyone with a brilliant idea that solves everything. Their heart was racing a little bit for speaking up with their idea. Yeah, sure, that works, Susan said. She's been manager here since the dawn of existence. At least that's what she says whenever anybody asks how long she's been here, but in reality it's been less than a couple decades, but, that's long. That's long, We don't judge her for it. No one smiled or said, good idea, Kay. They simply took the day-saving idea and just, went with it. Kay looked at his shoes. They were shiny and black. He prided himself in his self-care of his image. His hair and makeup were always flawless, whether they were rocking the puppy liner or a watercolor makeup look. Okay, fine. I confess, I did just spend 10 minutes Googling makeup look type names to try to find a way to describe Kay's makeup routine. And I can't figure it out. It's artistic, okay? The main point is not about the makeup. I mean, yeah, she rocked puppy liner, cat liner, fox liner, whatever else I said before. Was it the watercolor makeup look? Sugar plum fairy, anything in between and outside of that. Gosh, her whole world's flipped over for makeup. It was a dream toy experience to get to play with it every day. Well, not every day. Sometimes I just wasn't in the cards. But to get to express oneself like that, it was a joy and a pleasure, but also a commitment to oneself. A commitment to doing and being whoever on earth it was that Kay felt like being that day. And today as barista at the local coffee shop in Higher Falls, Kay felt like giving a great idea. 2 small donut holes for the price of 1 regular-sized donut hole. Now, I am not psychic, but I think I am. And I'm pretty sure that you're like, wait, $1 for a donut hole is like the usual price here? What is this place? It's gourmet, okay? These donuts are gourmet, all right? So anyway, one might ask, what even brought Kay to be this way, like this timid? Kay's heart was racing and just speaking up a little bit. We will never say here. We're not going to reveal that, but this is a choose your next chapter kind of story, and I really can't control what lies ahead, right? You're going to be the one choosing the next chapter, but the intention is that as we enter in, Kay's past remains mysterious to everyone, including Kay, due to the copious amounts of herbal refreshments. They were hooked on them in a big pyramid scheme to get them out to the mass public. They're called gonards. Kay had to take this job at the local coffee shop, Higher Falls Coffee Shop, spelled Shoppe. So I'm not really sure if, well, they tell me they pronounce it shop, but it looks like shoppy. Anyway, to support their part-time self-employment business in the gonards, they had to get this barista job. Gosh, this is a UK-based conglomerate. Right? It offers incentives to its drinkers to sell their products, and then once they're addicted to gonards, it's easy to get them to want to sell it for cheaper gonards. It's simple math. The owners of gonards do great, but meanwhile, Kay's over here just trying to cover his gonard costs by working as barista. Kay swore in the healing powers of gonards. It keeps me in the moment, he says all the time, at every pitch meeting, which is what he calls anytime he tries to pitch a gonard to someone. But he can't discuss it here at the local coffee shop. He has been warned of that time and time again. A little thing in the handbook called, quote-unquote, moonlighting. Never hear of it? Anyway, he didn't care because nobody there even wanted the stuff. He can't even give it away to his coworkers. He hasn't been there many years, but when he first enlisted, as he likes to call it, I suppose a little sidestep. I said we're not doing any like history about Kay. I'm sure I'm lying about that, but you probably should know that he views everything as a mission from, you guessed it, the man upstairs, Zoink. Well, that's what he calls. Uh, there's no good term for the way Kay sees their higher power. Okay, let's just the K's higher power is Zoink, and that's enough. And believe me, again, I think I'm psychic, so I think I know what you're thinking. Enough about K, okay, I get it. But I just got this feeling you're going to be following K more than the other characters, but hey, whatever. That's you, that's your choice. I'm just your humble servant in authorship. So back to his selling of the herbal refreshment, drinking good, cold or hot is what he says. Gonards. It came up naturally in conversation at work one time, and everybody there instantly had terrible things to say. Susan dragged the way it isn't government regulated, and a notorious pyramid scheme. Anyway, Bruin, the college kid, taking off a semester to work as many jobs as he can, he hates how the quote unquote rich people at the top don't actually care about the people drinking Gonards, and that he swears there's a Reddit thread out there that's all about proving that they don't even use the product, nor do anyone in their families. So then there's Sally, a high school senior, constantly stressing about her college application essays and always working on her notes on the off hours. She didn't say anything harsh about Gonards, not really, but she just always agrees. And Kay, didn't push it any further. Then there's Renee, also another high school senior, but Renee's really not into school and really not sure where she's going next, and is just starting this job, so we don't really know much about Renee yet. Anyway, when Bruin got the job, it seemed as though he instantly didn't care, but that's not what it is. Some would say it's like he's got a chip on his shoulder or something, but that's just not it. I would say he's just too deeply aware of the world around him, but in ways that just entirely don't matter to most people. He's always been too obsessed with the numbers on the dials in the ovens and the blenders. It's just all like tiny details that he stumbles into and obsesses over, and it kind of makes it so he doesn't pay attention to the orders coming up and more important stuff like that. So, yeah, he does kind of totally and entirely miss the boat on nearly everything, but then, in some miraculous way, he just manages to save the day in some random scenario at least once a week, and he's super likable. Somehow. Like this one time, he opened the door and said to me, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, he can see me, he's the only one. I'm like an amorphous mist that hovers over the entire story slash scene that I'm telling you, and I don't know, I swear he sees me and talks to me, but I have no corporeal mechanism to talk back. I'm just an amorphous mist watching this play out. And I do that from their dimension, and then I come back and I report it to you. You know, the classic way stories are written. But this whole Bruin talking to me thing, I'll give you an example. One time he opens the door and says to me, "You know what time it is?" And I'm like, "Wait, what, me? Me? You just broke through the fifth wall." As he was punching in, he said, "No, the sixth." But then I realized he was just answering Susan about what day he had off coming up. So I don't know. I don't know if it was to me. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to the donut hole balls. They are too small. And they're two of our main characters. Now it's up to you to choose what lies ahead. Ding!